This video is sponsored by Truco Republic, the precious metals experts. Talk to one of their experts today about diversifying your portfolio to help assure your future financial security. Find their contact information in the description below and pinned in our first comment. James Kaufman, World News Report today, July 10th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. The Director of National Intelligence, quote, Iran is paying anti-Israel protesters in America. Well, if you know it, why aren't you doing something about it? It sounds like another BLM Antifa caloric revolution. Anti-Israel protesters have infected many levels of American society since the October 7th Hamas terrorist attacks against Israel civilians. Pro-Hamas agitators have disrupted college campuses across the country, beaten up Jews, taken over subways in New York, and ordered that any Jew present identify themselves. And they've also indoctrinated our school children, and so much more. The MSN mainstream media continues to push the narrative that these are just peaceful protests expressing their beliefs. But it's clear to anyone watching that they're nefarious actors in the shadows organizing, funding, and pushing these disruptive and dangerous demonstrations. It is very clear that these actions have the full support of terrorists and the brutal Iranian regime. The Gateway pundit reported that senior Hamas official Khaled Mashal officially thanked student protesters at American universities for their protests and anti-Israel encampments and for their participation in the Al-Aqsa flood war. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei also shared his support of the protesters in a letter posted online. Dear university students in the United States of America, you are standing on the right side of history. You now have formed a branch of the resistance front and have begun an honorable struggle in the face of your government's ruthless pressure, which openly supports Zionists. Dear university students in the U.S., my advice to you is to become familiar with the Quran. On Tuesday, the Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, put out a statement confirming Iran's quote-unquote influence efforts during these protests. They've been paying for the protesters to protest. It turns out many of these groups protesting are being paid directly by Iran to do so, and many of these people do not even know who is paying them, according to Director Haines. Y'all have heard me speak of my friend who has a multi-million-dollar business that is always hired by Democrats to create protests and buses people into these protests with made-up shirts and signs, the whole business. They have no skin in the game, no dog in the fight whatsoever. They're just paid. Well, if someone like him were to know they're being funded by Iran, they should pay or suffer the full set of consequences due them. Period. This is actually the 2020 BLM Antifa all over again, right before the elections. Get ready for another caloric revolution like we saw here in 2020. God bless you and yours. Share, subscribe. Always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.